Hello Captains, this is Kent again and welcome to the flight show. So we are going to be doing a flight. It's not entirely a redo, but it's to the same airport that I flew to last time. We're going to be going to La Nubia, Manizales in Colombia, but we're departing this time from another airport that was suggested by someone who watched the show. And we're going to be flying out of Antonia, Pasto, which is kind of like, they call it an aircraft carrier in the sky, just like Catalina in California. It's a big runway, but it's a small runway, but it's on top of a plateau. A lot of mountains here in Colombia. So the purpose of this flight is really because I went on this venture to kind of get rid of the stutters, make the thing run smoother, and record better. And it just really turned into a real brouhaha because of me loading some software that was really causing this to have a VRAM issue, and it would crash every time I tried to get into the simulator. But one of the followers of the channel, Adam Pestridge, was a huge resource in kind of tips and suggestions, because he's also helped me such that we are going to be doing some live streaming soon. He helped me set up my accounts for that. So looking really forward to it. I would never have figured that mess out on my own. Maybe done a YouTube video, but it is not intuitive at all. But I digress. So let's go ahead and get in this flight. I've already loaded the navs. They're all taken care of. We just have to fly this flight. So let's go ahead and do it. All right, we're going to release brakes. Give us a little throttle. And we are out of here. So you should be noticing that this is going to be a lot smoother than the previous recording to that same airport. Maybe even smoother than many recordings before that. And also by suggestion of Adam Pestridge, I have upgraded to Windows Build 2004, which is supposedly able to handle the VRAM issues a lot better. So all of this is working to make this flight experience a lot better. And so one of the things I might suggest, it wasn't very painful at all. It's just a long process of it, downloading and updating your system. But go ahead and get that new Microsoft Windows 10 Build 2004. Okay, so in the midst of me trying to fix all the problems that I caused, to try to learn where the problem was caused, I unloaded not unloaded, but I took all my scenery out of a folder, out of the, add-ons folder for Prepar3D, and then I put it back in, but then I've got all these X's that I think is a SODI issue. Not entirely sure. If you know, please leave it in the comment how to get rid of them, because I've been working on this all morning. But then I had work to do. I had to speak to a high school in Pennsylvania via Zoom. That was really cool. But I wanted to get something out, a video out, to just see if this is working right, to see if all this work I did over the weekend and stuff with Adam paid off. And so if you got an idea for that X, let me know about it. Otherwise, we're going to enjoy this flight. Now, I'm not going through all the details and procedures because the focus of this flight is performance, not of the aircraft, of the simulator itself and our ability to record it. Alright, so we're going to go and make this turn real quick. There we go. And by the way, I am so looking forward to the beta quadrant by Honeycomb, because that's going to make this experience a lot more immersive as well. Alright, we are lined up. We have our altitude ready. We want to, let's see here, make sure that we have our RNAV armed. We do. Our navs are there. We're in map mode. And all we need to do now is arm our LNAV, which it is. Our altitude is set, and we will be climbing using our IAS to hold at 170 knots as we climb. Our power rating is set for takeoff. We have our lights, landing lights, nav, that should have already been on, logo. It's day, but who cares? Takeoff, beacon, armed, seat belts. We are good and ready to go. We no longer need to be in start. Let us rock on. Full throttle. Ooh, flaps. Forgive me for that one. That's why we have warning signals. Alright, accelerating down the runway. This feels and looks beautiful. Now, there are a number of things I still have to work on. The shimmers, the X's, but thus far... Oh, I hate that fisheye look. Okay, rotate. Positive rate of climb, gear up. Now, this SID would suggest that we are going to take a heading of 360. So let me go ahead and take this in before we turn on our path. Okay. So now we should have our heading. And we're going to increase our speed to 170 before we turn on our IAS. So I'm lowering the nose so that we can accelerate a bit. Flaps up. IAS is on at 172 knots, that's fine. Bring our nose up. We're going to hold this heading for a minute. We're not going to turn yet because this aircraft does not have this particular SID in it, and I do not know why. I tried to update it with Navigraph. It's still not in there. I wrote Carinato about it. I got to check my email to see if they responded. But be it that I have my electronic flight bag by Avlasoft over here. I can see it visually, so we're going to hold this heading for a little bit. Then I'll turn it over to the autopilot, such that we will turn on our course and departure away from here. Okay, we seem to be holding at 170 knots roughly, so that's good. That's me trying to trim up the aircraft so I don't have to give it so much forward stick. There we go. Excellent. Now, by the time we come to our next waypoint, which is D12.0 PSO, we should have been at 8,800 or greater, and we're at 10,000, so we're looking good. We can go ahead, turn off our landing lights. Looks beautiful. Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn on the autopilot. Because now we will turn towards our waypoint, which is the VOR MLK, is it? Or MEK? Yes, I believe it's MLK. MLR, I'm sorry. It's MLR, or Mercedes. I don't know if it's Spanish or not. But suffice it to say, we are now heading towards that VOR and hence on course. So we are now departing the airport. Let's take a look out here. Textures need to reload. But there is our airport way back there in the mountains. I know they looked around and like, where can we put a runway? Why not there? And look at this here. Now, where are you going? I mean, is that a road? How are you getting coolers and out and all that? I don't know. There we go. Got our Alright, going through a little bit of cloud cover, that's fine. But we are on course and we are climbing. Oh, and then we have to put our power management. Wow, look at how we emerge from the clouds. That is a nice. Put our power management on climb. You know, I really like these clouds. I know they're still, I guess, in beta, but it can only get better. Looking forward to it. Okay, we can see our course starting to emerge here, so we should intercept it very soon. We've got a steady climb at 17,000 feet. We are all up in the thick of this cloud. You have a bit of a headwind of 22 knots, so that's at least since it's coming at us, though at a bit of an angle. I think we have maybe 30 degrees from our course versus the wind, but put a little extra lift under our wings. That's good. Absolutely stunning. I mean, this is beautiful. Okay, we're very close to top of climb. Should be there in a few minutes. Colombia. You know, and I really do want to tell you all. As you know, my series, I'm having a series of geographic regions I'll be flying in. South America, Africa, and Oceania, which would include anywhere from as far north as Japan and as far, you know, south as Australia and New Zealand, and the African continent as well. And one of the reasons I picked this to kind of do a series of flights is because I think there's a lot of YouTube creation out there, but they tend to focus on flying in the United States and flying in Europe or around Europe. And, you know, there are a lot of people making some great work out there. So it's just kind of like I'd just be, you know, another tree in the forest, if you will. But I've really noticed that since we've been having the COVID, you know, safer at home initiatives, the sales that have been available, particularly I get a lot of my stuff from Sim Market. A lot of the sales have been the Caribbean. Oh, by the way, add the Caribbean to that series, just so you know. But there have been some sales that have given me the opportunity to try out some airports that I wouldn't normally try. And I'm kind of rediscovering that, you know, South America, remember that Orbx has released the land class for South America, and there's some really nice airports being built for down there by Latin VFR, Tropical Sim, SIERRASIM, to name a few. In fact, the airports that we're flying between, I think, are both SIERRASIM. And that being said, it's just a whole new region to discover. And what I'm hoping is that you'll see some of these videos and go, hey, I think I want that airport. I think I want to, try to fly into or out of Antonio Narino Pasto in Colombia, or fly into it. It's a challenging approach. The place that we're flying to, I think, is a bit more challenging because it's almost like flying into Lukla, but not exactly. But it's Lukla-like, if you will. So all this is to say, there's some beautiful scenery, as you can see out here, mountainous regions. The cloud layers are just making this look phenomenal. All that is to say, I think you should give South America another look. And for my friends out there in South America that are flying, I hope I'm doing this justice, giving you some props. There's some beautiful scenery out here. There's some beautiful airports, and hopefully this will spark some interest and contribute some unique content to the aviation genre for Flight Simulator. Because, as I said, a lot of flights in the continental U.S., a lot of flights in Europe. I'd just be another flight. Thought I'd do something a little different. Besides, I'm kind of interested to check out some of these new airports. But I digress. All right, after all of that, I will be back a little bit when it's time for descent. Okay, so we are almost ready to rock. We are approaching our top of descent. Things are looking good. Let me go ahead and put my electronic flight bag on the approach. And lock on. Excellent. I'll let you see very quickly. Here we are, and here's our top of descent. So we are about to go ahead and do the darn thing. Let me expand that and then get the sound back. Okay. I have already set our altitude to 10,000, so let's go ahead and do our rate of descent for, we're going to do 1800. We can bring it back. So we're going to ease off these throttles. As we descend. We have to adjust our heading just a little bit, just so it stays on with us. Then we're going to go until we get to the PEI, or the Papa Echo Indigo VOR, and then from there we will take a heading that'll bring us to a particular waypoint. I'll see. Oh yeah, well, to the Volet waypoint, and then we will turn approaching the final, because the final is offset from our flight in. So you might remember that from the flight yesterday. But today I am rocking my tracker software. So if I need to lean to the side so I can see the strip, it'll be a lot easier to do that this time. We look like we're doing okay for descent, because by the time we get to the proper waypoint, we need to be at 10,000 or above. I'd like to be very close to 10,000, like within 1,000 feet of it. And then at our Lanab high waypoint, that's where we're actually descending into the airport. Now, this CD10 waypoint, this is if you have to go round, you come back to this waypoint. But I actually think I can bounce this, because it should be Lanab and then the MZL VOR, which is where we commit. So let's go ahead and adjust this. We're going to take out this waypoint. No, we don't want to put you in. So let's just go back. There we go. While we descend, we got a little bit of time, so we're okay. So clear delete, and we want to delete this. No. Delete. Good. Next. Then we don't need two of these. So we'll delete. Right. Okay. And so if we go back, let, and as I look at this, yeah, this should be 10,000, then mills would be 9,500. All right, so I think we're looking good. Let's get back down here. So let, then CD10. And then the VOR. Okay. We're good. Alright, coming out of the cloud cover. That's good. Our passengers are being treated to one hell of a view. Just checking. Can't be too cautious. You gotta get this right, because you got one shot at it. Alright. I'm good. Because now this is that's yeah, this is couldn't have planned it better considering the limited amount of waypoints that are and stars and navs that are in here compared to what should be here. You know, I'll take it. Alright, we're at 14,000 feet, so I think we're on pace to make our 10,000 or above restriction. And besides, the Valub, that waypoint is at 10,000 or above, but so is the subsequent waypoint. So technically, we've got two waypoints to get down to 10,000. So I'm fine. I'm fine with this. We're doing fine. Now, what I am going to do is I'm going to come back on the throttles a little more. In fact, I'm going to idle it for now. Because we do not want to, like the last landing I was a little hot and I didn't care for that. We can bleed off some speed now. There we go. I'm trying to find it. And judging by our heading, it should be... that might be it there. I don't see it just yet, but I think that's it. This is exciting! All right, we are almost at 10,000. Timed that pretty well. Great. So when we level out, we'll bleed off some speed pretty quickly, so then we can bring the throttle up a little bit. Not much, though. But we're going to go ahead and slow down. And we should be able... Airport should be... I think we're looking at it right about there. We're in that region. Okay. Alright, we're going to go ahead. As soon as we reach 150, we're going to go to flaps 1. Give it a little bit more throttle, because we don't want to go too slow, but I think that's good. Excellent. Alright, we're coming up. So now that we're at 10,000, we're going to go ahead and bring this down incrementally, because we should... Next waypoint will be 9,500 feet. There we go. Alright, we're making our turn. We're going to go ahead and bring landing gear down. Gear down. Okay, so our nav, which I really should have done a little while ago, should be 12:10. So we got that on, and our course, how we doing on speed? Going to give it a little bit more throttle, a little bit more. We don't drop our altitude just yet, so we're good there. A little bit more throttle, and our course should be 126. There we go. Great. Although we're going to be using our GPS, but I wanted all that to be aligned anyway. Okay. And then our next turn will be towards the VOR. And we're going to go ahead and start to descend as soon as we make our turn, because that's when we should be descending to 9,500. Just a moment. Stay on target. There we go. Star Wars reference. Okay, we'll do it at 800 feet per minute. Come back on the throttles a little bit. In fact, I'm going to bring it to idle right now. Now we're heading straight to our VOR. And at the VOR, I will take command, and we will continue our descent, which should be a straight glide slope into La Nubia Manizales, if I'm saying that right, which I probably am not. Okay, flaps full. Gonna let the speed bleed off a little bit more. Alright. We're gonna hold it right here. And now, we'll take control of the aircraft. Autopilot is disengaged. I see the runway. If you do not, those are the poppy lights right there. And we're just engaging in a nice, gentle descent. Now we can bring our altitude to 8,000. Really, the altitude should be, the next waypoint would be 8,020, so I'm just going to bring it to 8,000. Depending on which nav I've noticed, it's either 8,020 or 8,006. Like in the navs inside this plane, it's 8,006. So, you know. I think we can go ahead and change this to VOR because that's what we're tracking. So we quickly go down here and change this to VOR. There we go. Alright. Now I'm going to turn on my tracker software, so I can get in case I lose sight of the runway. Okay, we're at 800, we're at 8,700. Good. Just had to get a little quick glance at the surrounding scenery. But you know what? I gotta pay attention, so we're not gonna do that. Speed looks good, glide slope looks good. Frame rates look good. I mean, I don't know, I won't know until I get to the recording to see how well it looks to you, but to me, this is just freaking awesome. Alright. Past the VOR.
2,500.
Well, this, I was just looking over my shoulder at my electronic flight bag. This is where I think we should be at our decision height. So I will say continue. Lean over a little bit. Just keep that runway in sight. In fact, I might go out just a little wide. Bringing back the throttles a little. To lose altitude. Okay. I think we are spot on, maybe a tad high, but cutting throttles to lose some altitude. And I'm going to do the whole full right rudder while giving a left yoke drop altitude without losing too much speed. Alright.
1,000.
Excellent.
Think rate. Think rate.
That's alright, I'm going to pull it up.
Think rate.
It's a little
Think
high.
rate. Think rate.
But this is a
5.
sloped
Rate.
runway, so it's going to come up
Think
to
rate.
us.
800. Think rate.
And our speed is not bad, so I'm kind of happy with that.
100.
Alright, here we go.
30. 20. 10.
Alright. Had to look and see where my reversers were. Alright. That was nice. Nice and smooth. And even if you take away the matter of the stutters, I was just more proud of that landing in general from the first time we had done it. So that's good. Okay, we'll look at the tire marks. That'll give us an idea where to turn. Yeah, chill out. Don't need too much throttle. There we go. Keep it coming. So why don't we take a quick look at the replay externally for that landing. So let's just bring it up. Playback. Where's our playback window? Is it hidden somewhere that I don't know about? I don't see the controls for it. Hold on. Let me just check. Huh. I cannot find the controls for it. Well, let's see if we can do this. We'll just use Archer. That was not too far, but that's good.
10.
Alright, nice and gentle. I'm not mad at that. Okay. Oh, I think I know what I accidentally did. I think I accidentally closed chase plane, which is why I can't get back to my cockpit. So let's just open that up and we'll get us out of here. Chase plane, wherefore art thou? Fair enough. Alright, unpause. Alright, let's get this thing into the gate. I might edit some of that out later. Oh, you're back. There you go. We're going downhill. Looks like we're picking up speed and I'm on idle. Okay, so while we're heading in, let's go ahead and get our marshaller ready. And our marshaller we will put at 9. Yes. So they're waiting. Now the interesting thing is I like using GSX, I like using Ultimate Ground Crew, but when you call the marshaller in GSX and once you call, the whole thing stutters while it accesses the hard drive to get the information for the people and the equipment, and it's like this pause, really annoying. Not that it's absolutely perfect, but when you bring out the marshaller in Ultimate Ground Crew, it's a much smoother transition when they're loading the details and stuff. It doesn't do that stuttery pause, which I'm glad about. Okay, turn this way. I didn't hear it because the door was closed, but I hear the all the cabinet giving me an applause for landing the plane, getting them there without killing them. So, hey, appreciate that. Thanks. I've been working hard at it. I actually have been looking for third-party runways, third-party software developers that have been creating some content with some sloped runways, and that's when I came across this one, and it was on sale at the time from SIERRASIM, so I was really excited. So I'm glad to bring this to you. Okay, I see the marshaller there. Slow it down a little bit. Yeah, bring it in a little. There we go. Not too much. little bit smoother, but that's okay. Just a skosh more. Alright. Watch him do the walk away. While our power's on, let's go ahead and bring our flaps up. And there you have it. A lot smoother, a lot more professional, because I knew what I was expecting. Okay, it disappeared. So I really do appreciate you tuning in for this. Let's go ahead and cut these engines. I would like to say that I really appreciated you turning in for this flight. I think we're going to be making some really nice videos here in the future, because all I can do is tune this and make it that much better. So I hope you enjoyed your evening. Be safe out there. Still, I don't care who says what about coming out. Until we have a vaccine, you can still get infected. So be smart, wear your mask, and if everyone's wearing a mask, well, then we can dramatically not infect anybody, because I know the masks don't necessarily protect you from getting it, but it prevents someone from giving it to you. So if we're all wearing it, all good. Stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you in the virtual skies. They wouldn't sell chulupes out here, would they? No, it's Colombia.